Is it inevitable when you're playing games so frequently that little things that in a normal schedule might keep a player out 3 or 4 days end up keeping them out for a couple of games?
Possibly, yeah. You know, the mood that our players are in, they want to be playing every day. I said that to them over the weekends. You know, you can see it in the play. I know you can't taste it, but you feel as though you can taste it sometimes. And we see it the way they train, we see it the way they play, and you just wish they could get the results now to reaffirm that to themselves, really. And you know, it's nice to see people rewarded for their efforts and the good play, and we just haven't had them rewards at the moment, and hopefully they're not too far off coming to fruition.
Have you had groups of players that have been enjoying their work less and winning than at the moment the way they're playing but not having had that result?
Football, you know, takes lots of twists and turns, and you get into ruts, you get into great runs. In every walk of life, but particularly football, you need luck. And you know, I look back to the time when we went on that unbelievable winning run, similar to the one Oxford are on at the moment. And you just believe that you're going to win, no matter what you go behind. You know you're going to win. And within them elements, you always have a little bit of luck along the way. You might get a penalty there. You know, you might get a disallowed goal against you. Or that goes for you, which keeps you in the front or not going behind, and just little things. At this moment in time, none of them are happening for us at the moment. You know, if they are, they're happening against us. No penalties, sending offs, non-sending offs, no penalties. And so I think it's great character the lads who are playing through that. You know, playing through the bad, not so much the bad luck, but not getting the reward for what their efforts are producing, and still having the enthusiasm and the passion to keep going and keep believing in what they're doing is right. And I think, you know, the players should be credited for that. And we've got hope that they can keep it going. You know, you need that little reward at the end of it to keep you going sometimes, and we haven't had it. But you know, as I said before, hopefully it's not too in the far future.
Does your experience tell you that your luck changes and that those things that aren't going your way do go your way at another stage in the season?
No, they don't always balance out, that's for sure. But my experience of football management tells me that the better you play, the more likely you are to win. So, you know, if you're playing poorly and you're nicking wins here, there and everywhere, you're not going to carry on. Can't go on forever. And likewise, if you're playing well and you're not winning, eventually your luck will turn, or things will, normal odds will generally return. And we just got to keep believing that the way we're playing is going to be good enough. I speak to various people in and around football, and they've been really impressed with the way they played this season. Not always, but we're getting more consistent in our play now. We're getting more consistent in our identity, the way we play. And it's a handful. It's a handful for teams. And we've just got to keep our heads down and try and get them wins, because wins are the vital currency in us and what we want to achieve, which is ultimately trying to get promoted.
We spoke the other night about not being that Neely side that plays well and entertains but then doesn't win games. How do you prevent that from happening? What things do you need to bring up 1% to change things?
Our concentration levels have to improve, that's for sure, because there's times when you're going to dominate games and you can go to sleep. I'm not saying that we have them, but one or two individual errors, just fine-tuning the marking and how we're going to defend, fine-tuning that, and giving people clearer roles and responsibilities, and making sure they're adhered to, and making sure everybody else takes ownership of that, so everybody else is responsible for making sure it gets adhered to. So you, in the end, you've got 11 policemen out there.
You're going to a side that are in the playoff places, few places above you. Is there a degree of surprise when you look at Doncaster's last couple of results, or is it the case we've been talking about of the result doesn't necessarily tell the story of the whole game?
Well, I watched the game on Saturday. The result definitely didn't tell the story of the game on Saturday. You know, they lost 4-1, they missed 2 penalties. They had 18 shots to Sunderland 6. So that tells you as much as you need to know about that story. I've watched Doncaster quite a few times. I went to watch them against myself and John Coleman went to watch them against Hull. And what did we go to watch them against? No, we watched them against Rovers. And they're a good team. They've got good footballers. I think losing Ben Whiteman was a big miss for them. They coped with that though, because they got on a good run after they lost him. But you know, any team will miss selling your best player. That's understandable. But you know, he's a calm head, and he knows the game. Great fella as well, good footballer man. And you know, I think he's done a good job there, and he's produced a good team who's more than capable of challenging for the top, or certainly the playoffs.
Do you think Darren Moore will be feeling a similar way to the way you're feeling, maybe even worse so, having missed 2 penalties and gone on to lose again 4-1?
Possibly. You can't get inside too many people's minds. I was thinking that he obviously hasn't drank this coffee just too quickly that I've just drank. It doesn't feel like I feel at the moment, which is drinking the coffee too quick. We're all in similar situations as managers, where you know obviously what you put out should reflect you and represent you, and you're trying to get the best out of them. And I think you know he's got good players there. He has. You know, they've been playing really well this season. I've watched them quite a lot of them, as I've said, and he's doing a great job there. So he'll be frustrated that he's lost the last 2. Obviously he will be. But the beauty about football is you always have a chance to rectify things and put things right, and he'll be thinking the same as us on tomorrow night.
And will that be something you've got to guard against? That it's human nature, there'll be a response? Oh,
of course. And you know, we're expecting it, you know, them to come out of the traps. And we've got to be ready for that. And, you know, we've just got to try and match what they do and at times better what they do. And a lot can be said for saying we've got to match them early on. I'm going to match them, you've got to better them. You're going to win games, you've got to better teams. And that's, you know, we believe. We went to Lincoln with only one thought on our mind, was to win the game. You know, you could say we were bullish with that, but we backed it up with our play. And you know, you hear reports that we played our part in the game, and Lincoln didn't win because they weren't quite at the best in the first half, but were brilliant in the second half. I must have watched a different second half, because after they scored, there was only one team who was going to make it 2-1. That was going to be us. So, you know, we believe we can compete against any team. We went and more than competed against the benchmark, which is Lincoln, who are the top team in the league at the moment. So if we can do that, we can do it anywhere. But Doncaster pose a totally different threat than what Lincoln did.
Thank you very much.
Dion Charles, 14 goals for the season. You must be impressed with how he's gone so far.
Yeah, he's a lovely lad, Dion, you know, and he's getting better. He's trying to take on board what we've been trying to coach him over the last 2 years. I think you can see the improvement in him. The understanding with Coley is very, very good at the moment. They're getting into the right areas instead of getting to the wrong areas with the being guilty of the past. They're now starting to play off each other. I think it's helped having Portsmouth behind him as well, which gives him a little bit of a license to get into areas that he possibly couldn't get into, because they're fearful of Paul's pace and his pace. You know, it's all right guarding against someone who's got one player who's got blistering pace, but when you're trying to guard against 2, it's difficult. So I think that helps. But Dion's just got to keep going. You know, I've said before, if Dion deals with his career in the correct manner, deals with this club in the correct manner, he'll have a fantastic career and he'll earn more money.